Let's talk about that Halo Combat Evolved remaster rumor. A few days before the Xbox Games Showcase, Tom Warren reported that allegedly Halo is being worked on right now in the form of a Combat Evolved remaster. The remaster is reportedly still in early production, and it wasn't expected that the game was going to be shown at the showcase. But apparently this would be Unreal Engine 5, and it would be Halo coming to PS5. Part of Xbox's Project Latitude, the first wave of games being like Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, and Grounded. And I want to talk in the video today about my thoughts of it. Been asked on Twitter and Discord what I think, and then also sort of the general response from players and fans and why I think the response so far has been pretty tepid or a little bit confused as to why they would potentially be doing something like this. So CE has already had a remaster. Combat Evolved Anniversary came out in 2011. Now for context, it wasn't great. It was the Gearbox port, it had issues, and the visual remaster that they did changed the tone dramatically. So much so that there was mixed response in terms of the visuals. Thankfully, you could swap back and forth, but overall, it didn't land like the definitive amazing remaster. However, I think a lot of players have been clamoring and wondering, when are we going to get a Halo 3 anniversary? And it seems like after you've done a CEA and an H2A, why wouldn't you do the H3A, the thing that players have been asking for a very long time? And I will still echo that. When I first saw this rumor, if they're doing this, I am a little confused as to like why they would start here. I guess it makes a good beginning point for the PlayStation series if they're getting Halo for the first time. And obviously, if it's successful, then they can bring Halo 2 and 3 and do that. But then it brings in the question of, are we just continually living in a nostalgia cycle? When are we going to get something new and original? Let me outline, too, why I think online the response was very similar. People asking why. I mean, we're not against it, but this seems sort of strange. Halo Infinite and the current state of Halo Infinite, I think, is the main driving point behind that sentiment. Infinite released unfinished. It was a very long development cycle, and the fans throughout basically the first 2 years of Infinite were just being told, we're going to get our feet under us, we're going to get things fixed, the technical issues we're going to tackle, all the promises we're going to deliver on. And it was a grind, and it was really hard to sort of day by day sit through the state of the game until we reached about Season 4 and Season 5. Season 4 marked a turning point for Halo Infinite, and we started to really see some solid improvement. At the same time, the player numbers started to grow for the first time over on Steam. For the warriors who say Steam numbers aren't everything, I understand they are not. You are right, but they also give us an indication at least of the sentiment for the PC community for the game. Moving into Season 5, my opinion, the best season and the best step forward Infinite had. It felt like a turning point was there. The momentum had shifted. It finally seemed like Halo Infinite had turned the corner. We had a current, modern Halo multiplayer that was being supported, and the future looked bright. Fast forward just a few months later, the start of the year, the live stream comes out that just says, we're pretty much done with Halo Infinite at this point. We're done with seasons, we're going to content updates. It was vague, and players read between the lines. Does this mean the beginning of the end of Infinite? Look at this year. The answer seems to be yes. We've just gotten operations, which are basically cosmetic updates and shop updates. Players care about one thing: good, meaningful content. And that comes in the form of new sandbox items, new game modes, new great developer maps, and an ecosystem that is more than just cosmetics and shop items being added to the game. Added on top of this is the, really rough launch of the easy anti-cheat and the new netcode, which was something we had been holding out for as a scene for a long time. And the updated netcode was met with mixed results. It was not the kind of update that could have landed anything other than perfection after players had waded through so much trouble and challenge with desync for so long. So here's the state we've now been in for this year. Players are wondering, what is going on? We know 343 is working on other projects, but are we now going to have to sit with just shop and cosmetic updates for the next undisclosed amount of time for Halo Infinite? Could be years. If we look back at how long Infinite took, it's not very encouraging. Are we going to, as a player base, just sit here in this sort of crummy state for Halo Infinite? Way better than it was at launch, don't get me wrong, and it is fun, and I do like Infinite, but you've got most of the current scene going, what is happening? And no word from 343, okay? I believe that is the main motivator behind sort of the response to the idea of a CE remaster coming sometime next year. Cool. Sounds awesome. I love CE. Something like this could be really cool, especially if they brought in like Marcus Leto or any of the old players who were involved on Halo CE. That game offers so much potential, and it's a great learning opportunity if they are shifting into the Unreal Engine ecosystem. But we still want to know what's happening with multiplayer Halo right now. What is on the horizon? I'm going to throw things back to when we knew Halo Infinite was in development, when we knew it was coming, but we didn't know how long we were going to wait for it. Halo MCC at the time was getting regular content updates. Some were great, some were small, but there was hype. There was this thing in the distance that the Halo player base was looking forward to, Halo Infinite. And in the in-between, we all were congregating around Halo MCC, which was getting updates and new seasons, and there was an energy there. And it was much easier to sort of sit and wait in anticipation as a fan, rather than right now where it just feels like we're sort of lost. Everybody knows, for the most part, if you're playing Infinite, it's just sort of on back burner life support. Unless they're going to come out and announce something big, we've all sort of felt like now that Match Composer is here, nothing big is going to come. Maybe a certain Affinity, game mode reveal. That would be great. I thought that was coming at the showcase. It did not. Okay, that's my opinion and reasoning why I think players are a bit confused when they see a rumor for a remaster like this. But let's actually just shift and talk about the potential for a remaster here. Now, I believe that they will probably bring in all the modern movement tech that we've got in Halo Infinite, slide and clamber and sprint. I do not believe we're going to get an old school 1-to-1 remake. This is an opportunity to expand, tell new stories, and really improve the overall experience. So if you're going to change the movement tech, you're obviously going to have to really change the play spaces themselves. Map types are going to have to be bigger, distances, sightlines, all that stuff. And this kind of excites me in a way. I've already played the original CE to death. I think it's an amazing game. I really do think it holds up well. But I would also be open to, if they are going to add in those new modern movement mechanics, they have to change up some of the map design and the encounter design. I also think it's a really cool opportunity for them to tell new original content that wasn't there, elements from the books, or maybe some side stories that are happening, or expanding upon things that just weren't there in the original. We know there's a ton of cut content for CE that just never made it in. This could be a great opportunity to really flesh things out there. Also, if they iron out a good development pipeline, this could be the new way that they produce ongoing single-player content, and Halo needs that. I would love to see, a Halo 2, a Halo 3, maybe not go through the entire list of the games there, but if they can develop in a, pretty quick timeline, obviously I don't know when the Unreal project started, but if they can do stuff in 2 to 3 years and put out really good single player content, that's going to be so much nicer as a fan to get to enjoy that. And when it comes to multiplayer, I really don't know how that all would fit into the Rubik's Cube. If you played CEA, they actually didn't remaster the multiplayer. They just built CE maps in Halo Reach and did custom game settings for Halo Reach to mimic and emulate Halo Combat Evolved. It was pretty fun. So I don't really have an idea of what they would do here, because right now the whole multiplayer ecosystem for Halo just seems a mystery to me. I don't know what is next. Overall, that is my thoughts for the Combat Evolved remaster. Again, it's sort of one of those sacred games, in my opinion. I don't want to see it changed too much. But obviously, if you're going to be doing this new remixed, remastered version with new movement tech, some things are going to change. It has to. I would love to know what you think about all of this. If you made it to the end of the video, drop an arbiter in the comment section below. If you enjoyed, like the video, subscribe for more. I hope you're having a good week, and we'll talk with you again very soon.